life without love is no life at all. But life without love means you have not realized life, what life truly is. This questioner has it must be a quote from someone, but he doesn't say who, or maybe it's his own. Life without love is no life at all. Please comment on this statement. Well, I like that statement. Life without love is no life at all. Now, what does that mean, life without love? Love can only be there when you're connected to the source of life, who you are beyond form, stillness, spaciousness, and then from there you perceive, you relate, you operate, you do what you do, and there's a sense of oneness, no longer a sense of separation. You're one with the present moment. You're one with whoever you meet, because the separation comes through mental concepts. And that sense of oneness is love. It's a recognition that you share with every life form, you share the same consciousness. So it's always a self-recognition. You sense rather than see yourself in the other. That is love. And then, of course, you treat the other as yourself. You love your neighbor as yourself. And you don't do to anybody what you don't want to be done to yourself. It's natural that comes out of the state of love. And then, yes, you're not really truly alive, or we could also say you're not fully human unless that dimension is there in you. So on some level we could say human creation, the creation of the human has not yet been completed, because many humans are not yet fully human. There is no love. And why is there no love? Because they're disconnected from who they truly are. Because who they truly are merges with the universal divinity or the One. Who they truly are, who you truly are, who I truly am, is one with the One, universal consciousness or the divine. That's where you and the divine merge. Another way you could say it is the ray of sunlight realizes suddenly that it's not separate, but realizes its source as the sun. And the ray of sunlight is not separate from the sun. It emanates from the sun. It's not separate. But it could, to use this analogy, you could conceivably imagine the ray of sunlight being deluded into believing it's a separate entity, and every other ray of sunlight is a separate entity with its own life. Because you're not in touch with the one life, so you believe that every life form has its own life. But no life form has its own life. That's why I sometimes say, I don't have a life. You don't have a life. Because if you have a life, then there's you and life. But how could you be there without life? You are life. I don't have a life, because if I say my life, then I must be separate from life. If I have life, then there's two here. There's life and there's me, and I have it. That's absurd. But that's the delusion that arises with separation, when you don't realize that all life forms are expressions, manifestations of the One. And then every life form has its separate life. That's the absurdity, the delusion. And then you create a world based on that delusion. And the kind of world you create on that delusion of separation is the world that you can read about in history books, or listen to the news, or look around. And so, according to this quote, then that's no life at all. That's one way of putting it, yes. It's no life without love is no life at all. But life without love means you have not realized life, what life truly is. All you know is separate life forms, and you attribute a separate life to each life form. But they're all manifestations of the One, and you are a manifestation of the One, which has no form, is beyond time, and you can sense the One within you. And then there's love. And then you're truly alive, and you're fully human.